Welcome to the It's Your Business radio show, bringing you weekly advice from the best experts to provide you with insightful suggestions for your small business to allow it to thrive in the competitive marketplace. The It's Your Business show guides you through the uncharted waters of small business and gives you a voice on what can help you move your own business forward, to help you kickstart your business and put into practice all the information that they share.
Happy holidays or Merry Christmas, or how do you decorate your house, or how much money do you spend?
It's Your Business radio show. I am your host,
So
Melissa Coleman, and I would love to introduce my new co-host, Anthony Coleman. Hey, Anthony.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much.
I know, I'm so excited. So for all of you who are just now joining us, we lost our beloved Dr. Stan Fine mid-May, and this is really our first official show back here with you live, and it is our annual Small Business America show. So I get to introduce some amazing people today. We're doing this as a two-part series this year. So you get part one today, and we'll have three different guests on today. You get to meet my new co-host, as we just introduced, Anthony Coleman, who is my partner in life and business, and now taking on a new role as my co-host on the It's Your Business radio show. So it is a thrill to have him here with me doing all this. So I would love to introduce everybody to Sicardi Bruce and Rich Pisani. They are like our resident house godfathers of business. Between the two of them, they have over 100 years of business combined.
Don't say the word Godfather. I'm Italian. Watch it. And so am I. And so is Sicardi Bruce.
That's why I like to say it.
Yeah.
They know everything.
But we
business
appreciate it. It does get people's attention.
It does. Like literally, when I talk about you two gentlemen, I always say they're like the godfathers of business for me, because they just have this amazing background. And it's always a pleasure to have both of you here. So I'm going to let you each introduce yourself quickly.
Well, Melissa, I'm Sicardi Bruce, and appreciate your kind introduction. But it's a pleasure to be on this show, because both Rich and I are retired from our regular businesses. However, we do still try to serve people in helping them to create their own businesses, or to expand their businesses, or to franchise their businesses. In my case, my background is I'm from St. Louis. I'm a fourth generation St. Louisan. I went to John Burroughs High School and then the University of Arizona in Tucson, and then came back and took over a small printing company in 1959 and built it up from 20 employees to 250 employees, and sold it about 12 years later. So since then, I've worked a lot with Rich. We have a company that he started called the American Marketing Group, and we work with people who want to expand their business, improve their business, or change their business in some way, and we work as advisors with them.
And you tell stories, and you
Thank
joke
you for
with. There's
joining
all
us
kinds
today.
of ways.
Thank you, Melissa. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, Uncle Rich.
And my name is Rich Pisani. I am not a godfather, really. I'm just joking about that, by the way, just to make sure everybody knows that. And I was born and raised here in St. Louis 76 years ago, and went to Bishop DeBerg High School, because in St. Louis, everybody, they don't care if you go to Yale or Harvard. They want to know, where'd you go to high school, right?
Exactly.
So there's even two books out about it now called Where'd You Go to High School 1 and 2. So, but I went to Bishop DeBerg High School, and then Mizzou, and graduated from Southeast Missouri State University in 71. Went to work for Xerox Corporation here in St. Louis in sales training, and sales management. They wanted me to move to Chicago, become the regional supply manager. I turned that down to go in my own business 50 years, in 1978, actually. And we started selling businesses and helping people franchise. We ended up franchising our own firm. We ended up with 23 offices in the Midwest. and then got bought out by a local equity firm. So then I went on my own after a 1-year contract with American Business Brokers, was the actual name of the company back then. Went on my own and started franchising other people's concepts. So I've been in business and franchise brokerage for over 45 years, helping people start businesses and buy and sell businesses and franchises. So that's my background.
Excellent.
It's an
Excellent.
amazing
Now,
background.
the one thing we didn't mention about both Rich and I is well over half of our time is spent working with not-for-profits as volunteers and as actually running not-for-profits. I'm the chairman of the St. Louis Ambassadors. Rich is the president of it. I've been on about 35 different boards of charities. Rich has been on many of them with me, and we work a lot to try and improve the community that we live in, and that's a big thing for both of us.
Yes.
Are we,
Which I,
if we have a book
hence why I
about a
call you the
talking
Godfather
giraffe?
of business. Doesn't it make sense?
And volunteerism now too, right?
Yes,
Yeah, there
yes,
you go.
yes, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna get this party started today, you know, because we are here with Small Business America, which was near and dear to Dr. Stan's heart. And as well as both of you gentlemen, you know, he was all about making sure that we are doing our best to help Small Business America help themselves and giving them great practical tools. So to start off part one of today's show, we're going to be talking about business planning. And we will definitely both be back for franchising at a later date. But today is all about business planning. So, Rich, or no, Sicardi. Sicardi is number one. All right. Why is it important to have an executive summary?
Well, your executive summary really breaks down into several pages, many, sometimes hundreds of pages of detail in how to get your business up and running. And when you go into a bank, your initial meeting with the bank, usually they don't want to read hundreds of pages. They want to look at 2 or 3 pages to see what the general background is of what you're trying to do with your business. And then later, when they get into details like writing you checks or something, then they want to look at the 200 pages. But to begin with, it's very important to be concise and to get your business plan into a small enough genre in order for people to understand it well.
My sister
Great. Well, that leads me to my next question, and I'm going to pose this question to Rich. You talked about the executive summaries. Now, why is it important to choose who's going to lead this business, whether that be the chairman or the president or CFO?
Yeah. It's like having a sports team on who's on first, who's the pitcher, who's the outfielder.
Sure.
In fact, Sicardi and I just came from a meeting for the St. Charles County Ambassadors, which is just starting up in the last 90 days. And we're right in the middle of that question. They want to know who's going to be the chairman, who's going to be the president and CEO, who's going to be their chief financial officer, their communication officer, their general manager, their management team's got to be put together for all the different committees that they'll have, directors of the committee teams. And then if you do have a company, you're going to have possibly a sales department, a service department, administration department. You need to know who's in charge, who's the supervisory people, who are the management people, and who are the people that actually run the people on that team of managers from the top on down. So somebody's got to know who the pitcher and catcher are, just like a baseball team, first, second, and third base, and then, of course, the outfielders.
And I imagine that's really important when you do your executive summary, because the banks sort of want to know who's running this
They're
thing.
buying the people.
Right.
They're going to loan money to some people, and that's what they want to know, who's on
Absolutely.
first.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, Sicardi, what product or service will you offer to your target market?
Such a significant lesson,
Well,
though,
that's
that
to be
your own
determined
desires can
by
decide.
the target
And
market.
wouldn't it be
In other
great if
words,
most adults knew that
if you're
today?
looking to franchise something
So
like
so
a
one of my happy
uh,
business memories
repairs
is coming
for
down St. Louis in the
foundations,
morning and seeing
you would
Hot
look
Wheels track
you would think that you would
all
look
put
at homeowners,
together.
and many
Cards on
times
the
you do.
back, which
But
was
what we
evidence
found
that
when we
Santa had
franchised a
not
company
only
that
put it
way,
together, but played with it.
that was
And
called the
this was at
Crack
the time
Team,
where I was starting
what
to
happened
question,
was our real target
here's
market
really Santa
was not the
or
homeowner who didn't want to spend
Santa.
$300 or $400
And I was
fixing a little
equally
leak.
pleased
It
by
was the
both
real
thoughts.
estate
That
salesmen who
Santa
were
would
going to
play
sell
with it,
their home,
or that my
who
mom and
for
dad
$300 or
would sit down
$400
and play
could
with Hot Wheels
have a
cars
leak-proof
before giving
home
Yeah.
that
just
had,
like-
had a
in
guarantee
a
on
way, I
it.
was filled with
So
joy.
our
I
real
was
target
proud.
market
much
became
So-
the real estate broker, and the sales
didn't
were
get the same kind of
directed
lesson.
toward those
I didn't
real
get a
estate
life lesson out
brokers
of it.
in all the different companies during their Tuesday
We end each
meetings.
show by asking each
rather
other
than the
ethical
homeowners
dilemma,
themselves.
And this episode,
And let me
not
ask you,
surprisingly,
is it
they're all about the
important,
holidays.
and
And
again,
Rick,
this is for
I'll
people
go
maybe
first.
thinking about starting a business, to
Your
really know that
20-something-year-old
target
son
market
has invited
before
his
you
girlfriend
get
to
into
your house
business,
for
like as
Thanksgiving.
you're
met her,
formalizing what your
but you
business
can
is
tell
going to
your son
do, who
thinks
you're
very
going
highly.
to reach,
You
to
also
have that
he's a
idea in
vegan.
mind.
Absolutely,
You
because
typically have a
that's how
traditional
you
meal on
formulate
Thanksgiving.
your whole
How do
game
you
plan,
adapt
and
the
you
menu
teach
to
your
accommodate
salesman
her
how
needs?
to sell to it,
You
and
had
you
better find
create
some
your
very good
your
vegan
marketing
recipes
technique
With more than
designed to
Yeah,
meet those
to
challenges.
integrate
Mhm.
into the entire.
You know, in addition to that, the
let's
Pasta House
define
Company
that.
restaurant
And how many
chain here in
people are
St.
gonna be at
Louis, they've got
Thanksgiving?
22 units,
Six
and they're
or
a
say,
full
we'll say
service
Six, yep.
restaurant
Is that a
versus
dish that you
McDonald's,
make
which is
that
a
you
fast
expect
food
all six
restaurant.
people to enjoy?
So the
Yep.
target
We want it
market
to
for
be
the
good
Pasta
enough
House
that
Company
even
is the
people who are
adult,
not vegan
and the
will
target
enjoy
market
it
for
and
McDonald's
participate
and
in
Wendy's and Hardee's and all the
actually
other fast food
And
places are
is
the
this
children.
how many expensive
So
meals
that when they grow
are
up, they can
dishes
take their
you
children
know
to McDonald's.
Not
Meet
if
me at
there's
McDonald's,
dishes
as it
that
says.
people
Now, it
are
sounds
really
like in this
bad
case,
to.
that target market was
Like,
developed
if you have
over
a couple
time
people
by a
that
little
just
bit of
love
trial and error.
cranberries,
And it
you're not
also
gonna
must
put
be
it
very
at the-
flexible.
you
If
put
you'll
it in
notice,
addition.
speaking of McDonald's,
And you probably aren't gonna replace the turkey
25
unless you
years
have a
ago,
family that doesn't really
the
like
entire
turkey anyway,
target
right?
market
Or
was
any-
directed toward
So I would
children, with
talk to a few
Ronald
people and find-
McDonald
you
and
probably know
and the
what are the things that
other
people
characters
really
that
like.
they had.
But-
Now their
so
whole
make it
market
in
is
addition,
toward
because
adults,
this would be
and
a
you'll
very
notice that their
important
advertising, et cetera,
signal
is
that you actually
directed to
care
that
about
because they
the
feel
person
that
and you
that's
care about
their
your son.
real-
So
they've graduated from
I would
children's
say that would be
foods to
absolutely essential.
whole family foods.
But other than a little
And
extra
now they
Google
go
searches
to the
and
leaders
a
of the
little more
family,
time in the kitchen, it's
and
really tough to-
at the same time not
No,
forgetting
not
the
at all.
children.
Now, here's
They
one
have
of
the
things
Happy
I
Meals,
find.
et cetera,
I'll
for them.
occasionally
But
order a
you've got to be
vegetarian
very
dish. I'll be with
flexible
somebody
in
who's
this
vegetarian or
because
vegan,
times
and we'll be at a
change.
restaurant.
For
If
instance,
it's not a
when I
restaurant that
started
kinda
my
specializes
business,
in those kinds
there
of
was
dishes,
no such thing
usually
as
they're
an
really
internet.
bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's
Exactly.
because
As far as
I
I'm
think
concerned,
this is
I'm
my
not sure
theory.
there still is. No,
You
I
don't like
I've
It's
come-
not going to work.
We'll touch
is it?
base on that one later.
This is your internet.
Yeah, we'll
specialist
touch
over
base
here.
on that.
I've come crashing
We've had
and
this
burning into the
conversation today, I
21st
think.
century. But you have to be flexible and be able to
vegetarian
move
pizza.
fast and change as your
Supreme
market
pizza with
changes
no meat.
and be able to
It was
deal with that.
awful.
Mhm.
It tasted like
Yes.
cardboard
I'd like to
with
address that a little
tomato
bit.
Yeah,
paste
go
and
ahead.
And
it
so
was the
obviously
worst
when you
pizza I'd
when you
ever
guys
had.
were initially starting
And I
this,
took a bite
you know,
of
the market
another
has
pizza that was very
changed,
similar
pricing,
that had meat on it,
distribution,
realized
PR
that all the
strategy, all
flavor
these kind of
came from
things.
the-
So the new
meat.
companies
And
that
so
are
they just
coming out
made
now that are just
pizza
formulating
without any
themselves,
meat on it.
their
And this is
yellow
probably
pages are
somebody
far
who
and few
actually
between. Newspapers,
like
you know,
vegetarian
uh,
pizzas, so they
can
didn't
be
expect
effective
it to
for
be
some
good,
products and
right?
services. What
So
advice
they'll
would
make
you
that
give to those customers
you're
out
gonna
there
have
and those
some-
businesses
you're
that
gonna
have
have
just
some
started,
good
whoever
feedback.
wants to take that?
Well, the main advice I'd give is use AI
So
because
let's
that's
say
going to
that
be
we-
the
Artificial
the-
intelligence, right?
Yes, the artificial
From your
intelligence is
father.
going to be the
He is really
Internet of the
enthusiastic about
future.
the gift,
Mhm.
and he spent
and
a lot
going
of
to
time
be
picking it
where
out just for you.
most of the marketing,
It
et
tells you
cetera,
how much it
is
costs.
created
And it was a
and
pricey
done.
shirt.
And I would direct
Do you
a lot
wear
of
it?
my
And
attention
if
to
so, how
firms
often?
who specialize in that and who
So,
help people
I
get involved in it in a strong way.
Yeah. I agree. And some of the things that, we pointed out and we talked about was when people start their own businesses, they were really good at that business, whether that be a tree company, whether that be a restaurant owner with the chef, whether that be a roofer. What's the downside of trying to do everything at the company? You specialize in one thing, but now you've become the marketing director, you've become the PR, you've become this. What should a company do?
Well, I can speak to that. I will tell you that small business And I'll pretty well define
I
that
don't
as
think I
under
said it, and I guess
500
in how
employees.
it's a little different than
Small
your
business
scenario,
really
my father
can't
lived
afford
across the country.
your
It
top
probably
drawer
it was easier to
managers
hide
in
or-
these
or
different
not
fields.
worry as much
So
about
the
what was going
owner
on next door. But even if
really
he
wears
were
the hats
somebody I
of
saw
many
much
of
more
these
often, I think I would
functions
just
of
have to have the
finance,
discussion
of
saying,
credit,
I don't like
of
people shopping,
sales,
purchasing clothes
marketing.
from
at
particular,
the
or
same
maybe I'm
time,
not
he
very-
would bring in
what I like
people
is
who
a
would
fairly narrow
perform
range, I
that
don't
function,
know.
but he'd have to
And maybe-
oversee it
and I
until
even
they
think I
got
may have gently
good
had
at it,
this
because he couldn't
conversation
afford
after
to, he or
shirt
she
Nicole, 'cause
could
it
not
used to be
afford to pay the big bucks
that
that
I
you
think I
would
said,
need to
I'm
have
just
a
picky when it
terribly
comes to
experienced
clothing. So
person in that business.
going
So
forward,
it's
maybe
the
pick
owner's
something else. I
responsibility
don't think there's anything
to
wrong with
train
I-
that
I think
person and also
somebody has
to
put that
find the
much-
right person
has
for it.
that much
Yeah.
emotionally
In fact, let me
invested
ask
in
you
a
two
piece
a
of
question, if I
clothing.
can,
Sure.
about small business, because you ended up working for a small business and buying that
So I
small
guess
business.
I
How
would
many years
try
ago
to-
did you
I
buy it?
wouldn't be, I wouldn't
What
be
is it?
rude
Coming up on
about it.
5 years.
5 years
But I
ago,
think
right?
I would
Sage
not
is the name of your
wear
company.
it.
Who
I
is your
think I would
target
try to
market and
return it if I
prospect?
could.
Uh,
I think I would
customer.
gently
I mean,
say,
I would say
maybe
our
going forward,
primary
like, there's a lot
target
of things you
market
can buy. Maybe let's
is
cross
primarily
paths.
women between the
Oh,
ages
I
of
thought of this
26
dilemma because I
and
remember when I
65.
first
Oh,
met
okay.
my
you know, we
wife to
skincare
be's
and how our
family,
skincare works,
and she had two
we are
sisters.
really
Her older
good for
sister came
anyone,
down. We had just arrived
but that
for the Christmas
is
holidays and things
our,
at
I
her
would say,
house.
our
And
primary
these
clientele
girls all had their
and
own
current
bedrooms
focus.
in the
But
house.
you know,
And her
we
older
have a lot of
sister
leeway
comes
to do a
downstairs
lot of
wearing
things.
this
And
Yes.
Anthony, what about you? What is your
ugly
target
velour
market?
jogging suit
I work for a
that
digital
was
marketing
incredibly
firm,
Right.
typically.
all
So
these-
our
all
target
kinds of
market
weird
is
things
the
that-
small business.
And I was
So what?
thinking,
Wow,
why in
I
the
didn't
world
know
would she
that.
wear
Okay.
Yes. So not from
I asked
digital
Cindy,
marketing to
she
your
said, "Oh,
website to
She
all the
got that
basics
last
that
year
a
for
company
Christmas
needs
from
to
Mom, and
really
she hid it
get
under
going.
the bed.
So what we do is we offer a
So
complete
she wears it when she comes
full
home.
circle approach to everything. So there's nothing they
And
need
she
to go
did
out and
that
buy
for
different
years
vendors
until
for,
one
because
day
most
her mom
companies
was
go out and
cleaning
get a
the room
web
and saw
designer,
there
then
was
they
a big
get
lump on the
social
bed.
media
She lifted
person,
up
then
the
they
mattress and
um,
stuffed in a big
reviews,
ball that you
reviews, a
could buy for your
CRM,
mattresses
and
as
now they're
jogging suit.
paying $300 or
And I just
$400
thought,
a month
that
to
is
each of
so
those, where they
strange.
can
My mom
actually
never
get
bought me
all
something
they
I didn't
need
like. I would just
in a
say, "I
very
really don't
inexpensive,
like this. You mind
affordable
if I
way,
exchange
and
it?"
then keep their
She was like,
message really consistent.
Where do I buy stock?
We are public now. It's called Thrive.
Great. Well, I was interested because we've been asked that question over the last year by you, and I wanted to ask you because I never really thought about it. But you're right; it's women, and then social media
It's
is
very
like
important.
the most common way to advertise and promote your business through that way of marketing.
Very important.
Especially today, like for any new business owner, especially after COVID, because I think for companies like Anthony, I mean, that like turned businesses upside down. It was like they had to get smart and savvy, and like his business exploded
Wow.
during 2020.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Interesting.
still growing, because I have 3 different sets of customers. I have some that are ages between 26 and 35. They're digital savvy. But then I have some more established businesses that their owners may be between 40 and up, and the internet scares them. The Google and the digital things does scare them. So we have to walk them through that. We really have to help them through that process.
Yeah.
But it's needed. Everybody goes to their phone and looks at Google to find what they're looking for, and hopefully you're there to survive.
Well, thanks for answering the question,
Sure,
because
you're
I
welcome.
always wondered myself.
You're welcome.
Just want to remind everyone, if you're just now joining us, you're listening to the It's Your Business radio show. We are here with you every Saturday locally in St. Louis on KXOK 102.9 FM at noon. And then you can catch us Monday through Fridays at My Genre Radio Network. All you have to do is search your city, search our show, and you will find us. We're there from 9 to 10 and then from 1 to 2. And we are here talking about business planning and strategizing with Sicardi Bruce and Rich Pisani. So next question for Sicardi. What will be your pricing, distribution, marketing, and PR strategy? Which we kind of went over a little bit, but when you're establishing this and working out your business plan, where do you want to start?
I think it's very, very important if you're a new businessman or woman going into this, that you employ experts, much like
Anthony.
he was talking about with it, and find people who are good experts to advise you. That could be an accountant, it could be a business management group team.
Mhm.
It could be the computer management
digital
team that
side,
you're
sure.
talking about. If that's the
Hello,
way to
and
go.
welcome to episode 15
Or
of the
it
Ethical
could be
Life, a place
a
where we
public
talk about the
relations
dilemmas
firm,
each of us face.
but
in a way we
somebody
hope is
that's
thoughtful
expert in the
and sometimes
fields that
even
you're
fun.
not,
I'm Scott
because
Rada, social
nobody
media manager for
comes
Lee Enterprises,
totally
and I'm joined as always by Rick
equipped
White,
like
who
vegetable
is the head
soup.
of the Ethics
You've got to
Institute at
cut up
Viterbo
the carrots
University
and
in La Crosse,
celery
Wisconsin. Hi, Rick.
and stuff
Hi,
separately.
Scott. It's good to
So,
be here.
Gourmet and him just came out, didn't it?
Yes.
He did take some time off, and we're
Gotta
glad
have a
to be
little
back
food
behind
with
the
the Italian.
So I would
So
think
we
that
have focused on some of the biggest stories in
relying on
policing,
experts
gun safety,
is
Yeah.
very,
economy,
very
and, of
important
course,
in
the
starting
pandemic.
a business like that.
But we haven't
Yes,
spent
yes,
as much
yes.
time
Great.
talking about
So,
how ethics can affect our everyday
Rich, I'll
lives.
pose this question to you.
And
You know,
recently
why
I
should I
saw
create an
someone posted on
organizational
Facebook,
chart,
and it was
job
titled
titles, business
7
descriptions,
Rules of Life.
area of
I'm not
responsibilities,
clear if
especially in
the
the
actual author
beginning?
of
Why
this
is that
list is,
important?
but a
Anthony,
quick
it's
internet
similar
search
to
showed
the
this
answer that I
meme has
gave you
been
when you were
shared
asking me
very
who's going to
widely.
lead the
It is
business.
also
Right.
found on
And
posters and
people
t-shirts
actually need to
coffee mugs,
see
it's
and be able
everywhere you
to
look.
read
thinking,
an organization
Are
chart.
these 7
Mhm.
rules
So if you
useful,
say that
or is it nearly impossible
you're going to
craft a
be
list
the
like this
chairman
that actually
of the
has
company,
useful
we need to
information?
see that on an
So
organization
today,
chart.
Rick
Then
and I are
you
gonna
might
take
say,
each of
look,
these 7
Sicardi, I
rules
want you to be the
and
president.
discuss whether they offer
Melissa's the
a path to
CEO.
living an
I
ethical
might
life.
be your executive vice president in
And Rick,
charge of
let's start
sales department or
with
Right,
whatever.
rule
But
sure.
number
if you
1.
build an organization
According to
chart,
this
when you
list,
hire new
the
people,
first rule
when
of
they're
life,
coming into your company,
make peace with
and
your
you say, look,
past,
we've got an
so it
organization
won't
chart here to
screw
take a
up
look
the
at so
present.
you can see where you fit.
What do you think about
You know,
this?
you're a
Absolutely.
backup pitcher. You're
Great
not the
rule,
pitcher.
and
You're
unlike
not
some
on
of the
the
others that
closing
I have,
pitching
I'm
team.
ambivalent
You're
about.
one of the
I think
people that
this
sit on
one
the
is
bench of the
pretty-
13
this is
pitchers
right
we have
on
on the
target.
St. Louis Cardinals,
It's
which
interesting. The first thing I thought
they're
of
all
when
sitting
I
on the
was
bench
first
lately,
approaching Freud,
unfortunately.
he
But the
was
bottom line
studying
is that
hysteria
to
with
see, feel, and touch
Justice
something
Breyer,
on an
who
organization
was
chart that
really
you
a
can
first
distribute to
woman
everybody
in
via
Freud
email,
Breyer made
have
this
copies at
remark
the next
that
board
hysterics
meeting on who's the
suffer from
chairman of the board will
Yes.
run that meeting.
And
I think
what
that's
he meant by
important.
that is that
Procedures in any new
things in our
business are
past
key.
that,
Everyone
if
needs
not
to
dealt
know
with
what the
sufficiently
left and right
and
hand
are
are doing
repressed,
and whose
this is what
responsibilities
you're
are what.
Good way of
using
putting
this
it.
Absolutely.
kind of hydraulics
Absolutely.
language,
Thank you
which
so
is-
much for
which
that.
we still use. We talk about being under
All
pressure and
right,
things like that.
Cy, what will
Even things
be
in our
the
past that we
legal
don't deal with
form
sufficiently
for your
can
company?
cause real problems for us. in
Well,
ways that
that's
we
to
don't
be
realize. And
determined
this is really
by,
what we're
frankly,
educating
one
kind
of those
a path
experts
for
we've talked about,
maturity
like your
and kind of a
accountant.
flourishing life
And it may
is
benefit
coming
you
to
to be
terms
one
both
form or
with
another. You might be better off
ways we've been
being a
harmed by
limited
others
liability
and the ways in
company
which we
or
cause
a
harm.
limited liability
And it's
corporation
important to come to terms with both
or
of
a
them, although
limited
we use different
liability
approaches for each one,
partnership
but
Mhm.
or a
Yeah,
pure
it's essential.
proprietorship
Now, I should tell
or
listeners that we haven't discussed
a
these in the past, and
franchise.
so I'm
And
hoping in some places
speaking
we
of that,
disagree on some of these.
some
But I-
people
on the
are
first one,
much
I agree.
better
I think
off
this is
being a
a good rule for
franchisee
life. And you brought
and
up a good
having
point, though,
a
is, of course, I was thinking, like most
LLC,
people do, about
limited
things that
liability
happen to
corporation,
us, especially as a child
around
growing up,
them,
whether it's
then they
abuse
would
or
be
any
doing
number
it
of
on their
different
own,
things.
Mhm.
But you
because
also
not
said
everyone
wisely, I
knows
think, that
everything
it's
about the
things we
business
also have.
when they
Those
get
are
into it.
in many
And
ways
they're
the
better
important
off sometimes
because they keep us-
listening
if we
to
don't have
how a
self-respect, and this is one of
franchise
the things that
would
happens when
direct
we-
them to
when
run
we
their
cause harm
business.
to others and
So
we
that
don't seek
brings up the
forgiveness,
two
we don't
types of
take
people.
a genuine
The
effort
one
to make
type
amends.
being
There's a sense in which we never quite forgive ourselves, and we suffer from a lack of self-respect.
entrepreneur
It's very
and an
hard
entrepreneur.
to become
Your
a
entrepreneur
responsible
is
moral
going
agent
to be
in
the
world
guy
that
that
lack that. And there's a lot of
wants
people who like that, who walk
to be
around
told from morning
aren't
till
really
night
convinced of their
how
own
to run their
goodness.
business.
That's
The
a terrible state to
entrepreneur
be in.
wants to do it
Is it
all his
also, though,
own
a
way.
risk for
Mhm.
people
An
who might
entrepreneur
walk
makes a
around
lousy franchisee.
just
An entrepreneur
to
makes a
easily
wonderful
shrug off
franchisee.
these bad
Does
things
an
they do?
entrepreneur
interesting.
make a
And
better
could somebody look
franchisor
at this and say,
once
maybe
they get
there are some
established, or
things
yeah,
no?
that we use the phrase
easily,
we should
yes,
forgive
once they're
ourselves.
established, but we're
Are there
talking
some
about
things
starting
that
a
we
new
could
business.
Right,
use that
Yeah.
right.
And in
are
starting a a new business
Yeah, they are. And I don't think
generally
we should seek
is
first to
better
forgive
off
ourselves. I think if we
learning
cause
how
harm
to do
others,
it
what we should
with
do is
someone
seek
who's
forgiveness
done
from others.
similar
But-
businesses.
And that is the
Now, in the
path to
case of
self-forgiveness.
starting a
Because
franchise
it's reflexive.
themselves,
And, yeah,
they
I
may
think
be
it's
very good at
one of the
running
real dangers
restaurants,
in our life
and they
is that
could then
we come to
start their own
rationalize or
franchise
excuse
once they have
bad
2 or
things we've
3
done.
up.
This is like
They could
the
then
Quakers, the Nate
begin
Penitentiary,
franchising
penitentiary
their
comes
restaurant, and
from
it's a fine
the
way to do it.
Quakers
Mhm.
thinking
But they're
that
an
you need a
expert
place of
already by that time.
penitence.
Right.
That
Right.
and that coming to terms.
You know, what's
with the
interesting
harm
about a
that we cause
franchise, since we're talking about
is
business
good
planning
for us,
today,
and
is
it's
that
not
as
good
an
for
example,
us to
using the
excuse it
Pasta
in
House
that.
Company, Italian
And
restaurant
I
chain
think
here
they're
in
right
St.
about
Louis, if
that.
you go in
Coming
to buy a
terms, like an
franchise from
honest
them and
appraisal
spend
of
over $1
how we
million
protected
for the
others,
restaurant,
and
plus
then
building
seeking
and property. So you're looking at a
reconciliation is very
$2.5
important.
to
So
$3 million
when
total
we've been
investment.
harmed, it's
That's a
also
lot
kind
of
of
money
that
in
is,
today's
we have to
world,
find
especially.
ways
Mhm.
But they
of
have a business plan
wanting
called
to
an operating
reestablish
manual.
presence
And they've got a
in
franchise
And
agreement.
over the
They've got
years, I've gotten
financial
to know a lot
statements on
about
all
house
their
providers.
company-owned restaurants so
And
that you can
Mhm.
see the
One
income
of
and
the things I've
expenses that
noticed
they're
is the people that we bring in
incurring
typically
and
that
making
speakers
bottom
and
line
share their
profits.
stories, they've
So the
already
bottom
made
line
great
is you
strides
have
in
a
this
built-in
kind of
business plan if you
reconciliation
buy a
to the world
franchise,
because
like
they
Sicardi
started
was
to tell
saying.
their story.
And the
This is
one
really
who
significant.
they are
People-
looking
people
for
who've
is
been
the
harmed
entrepreneur,
never
not the
tell the
entrepreneur who
story
will
of the way they've been
question
harmed and share
their
that with
operating
others.
manual.
Keep it
Mhm.
repressed. It
Right.
continues
Really
to do
quick,
damage. It
I want to
really
ask you a little
damages
about risk and
relationships,
reward as it
especially
relates
with
to
family.
financial
And
plans.
there's that stereotype.
What
we have, and it's
scenarios
true in
with
some
that?
ways,
You know,
where
what's the best case,
I
worst
think we
case
have the term
scenarios
the
when you're putting
silent
a company
generation.
together?
This group of people,
I'm not
of course,
sure I
back then it was
really
almost
understand that
men
question though.
who went
So
off to-
I'm putting a
and they
financial
came
plan
back,
together, and I might have
and in many cases, they
100,
saw
$200,000
absolutely
is
awful
all I
things,
have to
and
start
they
with.
never talked about
I have to think
And-
of
and-
the best
and-
case
and I
scenario.
think
How
Okay,
to
I
that
think I
era
understand then
Yes.
what
is
your
looked at
question
as
is.
that's what
It's
maybe
very,
we
very
need,
important to
that's
work
what-
with
that's okay.
a
That you see that it's easy to
financial person.
compartmentalize that
But one of
and-
the
and move
biggest
on and go
mistakes
back to
that
your job
people
at the
make
insurance agency.
when they go into business for themselves, they don't
we've
pay
learned over
themselves.
the
They don't
years that
figure on paying
Most people
themselves.
can't and should
Mhm.
not.
And they have to have
No, but it's really
the
hard.
ability
It's
to
not-
live for the 2
when
years
you've
it
suffered
takes to
real deep
begin
harms, it's not
generating
something that can
profits
be
on
dealt
their
with
business.
trivially either.
And
So
they
it's not
sort of
something
forget
you can
that.
just
And
bring
as
up
a
in
result, they go out of
conversation with
business
somebody who's
within the
not
first year or so.
serious.
Right.
And
And
I
does
think the
cause a reliving
statistics
whenever
on
you revisit
restaurants
something.
and
So
starting new
there's
restaurants,
psychologically
about
many of the neurological
87%
studies have shown you
failed during the first year.
richly imagine
Now, in the
some
case of
traumatic event that
franchise
happens, so your
restaurants,
brain goes through
the
same
franchisee,
thing. So you
over
get the same kind of
90% succeeds
scanning
Okay.
images
because they
as
have
going through it.
the
It's- so
highway
it's
to
significant
follow with the
psychologically.
highway signs that say
But to be able
get
to
off on
own it in
exit
a way is
22
very
and
important. This is
turn
the
left
power
when you get to the top of
of
the hill.
storytelling.
And this
I
is
would say
very,
art in
very
general.
important
There's been
in,
many stories
in
of forgiveness
areas
have
that
shown the
are
way in which
risky,
art
like
can be really
restaurants.
therapeutic
Yes.
It's a
because
turnkey
they-
operation. You provide
Right.
all.
Art
You provide
allows
the
a different
yellow
part
brick
of the
road, and they
brain
follow it, and everything should be
to
fine.
process
That's right.
and
Yes.
interpret an event,
Well, believe
which
it
is
or
not
not,
directly
gentlemen,
threatening,
we are
deals with the event,
about to wrap up our
but not
first
in the
half,
same
and
terms, in the
we've
same
only
way.
got you here for the first
And
half this week
the
because
event
of Small
appears what it
Business
caused.
America. But let everybody know how they can
So I know
reach
a woman
out
who's
and
a
find
artist,
you if they want to
she-
work with you,
One of her
get your
family members was
expertise in the world of business.
What
Yeah,
she
they
did
can
is she
call
started
me
thinking, how can I
directly
reach out
if
to other
they
family
want on my cell
of
phone.
murder
I want to make it
victims,
personal
help
here.
them, 'cause so many of them
And
never
again,
get over
Rich
this, and
Pisani, that's
struggle.
Pisani,
So
and my
on a
cell
whim,
phone
she
number is
asked somebody
314
she knew that was in
952
what was your daughter's favorite
2640. Again, that's
She
314
told her.
952
So she made an
2640.
abstract
Or they can get a
using
hold of
those
me in
colors,
Sicardi and
and
take a
she
look at our
filled
website,
herself,
which Anthony is familiar with, because
painting.
that's
Sure.
what they do.
and then she
right?
presented
It's
this
just
piece of art
American
with the
Marketing
film of
Group
her
Inc.
making it.
.com.
this woman.
American Marketing
And
Group Inc.
She
.com.
broke down in
Perfect.
tears. and she
All
said,
right, gentlemen, it is
"It
always a
made me
pleasure
feel
to
like I'm
have
in
you
the
with
presence
us,
of my daughter.
and we will
And this
see
is
you
the
again
first time
soon.
I've cried
Well,
like
it's a
Thank you.
pleasure being
This
with
is
you and
really
a pleasure
profound. I
meeting
said,
you.
"My
Yeah.
Pleasure
Oh,
meeting
it's
you
your
also.
second time.
For the
Second
second
time,
time.
yes.
Anthony, Melissa, happy 4th of July in
Right,
advance.
Yes,
To you
same
both.
to you
Be
both.
safe out there.
All right,
Thanks,
take
guys.
care.
peace with the past. That can be really difficult. We're doing certain kind of work. It's very
If you're looking for a new, informative health and lifestyle show to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to think, work, and live more powerfully,
you think that's
then
true?
you need
I
to
don't,
listen
and I'll
to
tell you
Sage
why.
Advice with
Because-
Melissa. Now, whether you're
Yeah,
trying to
and
improve your
we
life
have
from a
come
mental,
back to it
physical,
saying
or
we do an
spiritual
awful
journey,
lot, and I
Sage
think
Advice
they're
with
close
Melissa
enough.
Coleman,
Saying, I don't care what
CEO
other
of
people
Sage
think.
Skincare, delivers
And
weekly
we
advice advice from industry experts to provide you with insightful suggestions to allow you to thrive with a better quality of life.
Anyone else,
Melissa's mission,
whatever you
to guide you through the uncharted waters of health and wellness and to give you a voice to help improve your life.
Will question you.
So be sure to
Criticize
tune
you,
in to
or even
Melissa.
possibly
You'll be
laud
glad you did.
You must not care because you don't care what others think. And I just think that's a
Hey,
ridiculous
listeners,
philosophy.
saying thanks to your customers
And
is nice and
I
polite,
think
but
people
expressing
say
your
that
gratitude in memorable
that's
and
not
ongoing
exactly what
ways
they're
can
thinking
boost
about,
your
but
business.
to me, that's
At
what I
Promo
do.
Experts LLC,
Yeah,
we
that's
exceed
part
our
of it.
customers'
Yeah,
expectations.
incredible
For over
job.
20 years,
And of
our
course,
product knowledge and
like
experience has
you
helped
want
them
to
with their
be
marketing
engaged in
initiatives
the
and
world,
trade show graphics. We are happy to put that experience to work for you. Quality products, great customer service, and prices are our number one priority. We work with you to find unique, creative, and new ideas that fit your image and expectations, helping you build strong relationships with your customers. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture. For more information about this exciting opportunity, contact Diane Carson, President, at 636-458-5241. That's 636-458-5241. Let Promo Experts help you to move your business brand beyond the bland.
And I think that's like
Have you always wanted to write your own book but don't know where to start? Publishing Concepts, a publishing company located right here in St. Louis, offers everything from consulting, book printing, copyrights, ISBNs and barcodes, print book layout, ebook and iBook layout, graphic design, cover design, ghostwriting, typing and editing, distribution, marketing, and more for an affordable price. Visit publishingconceptsllc.com or just Google Publishing Concepts to get started today, or call 314-781-8880. That's 314-781-8880. Publishing Concepts. We help you sell more books.
In today's economy, there are more people looking to buy and sell businesses than ever before. When a company owner needs to sell their business, they can't just stick a for sale sign in the window. They need the assistance of a business broker to locate and vet potential buyers. On the other side, buyers rely on the broker to help facilitate the process of evaluating potential businesses and franchises for sale. A Transworld Business Advisor is the solution for both scenarios. Transworld Business Advisors focus on three core concepts: business brokerage, franchise consulting, and franchise development. Transworld has specialized in the sale of business and commercial real estate. Today, Transworld Business Advisors is a global network of brokers offering a turnkey solution for those that want to build a solid business and future for themselves while maintaining a balanced quality of life. With our comprehensive training program, full marketing support, and local field support, you won't have to start from scratch. Our trained experts and members will help you every step of the way. Transworld Business Advisors has 40 plus years of experience, 10,000 plus businesses sold, and 600 plus brokers, 250 offices worldwide. For a free initial consultation, call Charlie Scarlett, business broker, or Billy Rowland, business broker, at 636-400-6100. Again, that's Charlie Scarlett, business broker, or Billy Rowland, business broker, at 636-400-6100.
To live a better life in different
All right, everyone, welcome back to part 2 of It's Your Business radio show. I am your host, Melissa Coleman. I am here with my new co-host, I should say, Anthony Coleman.
Hello.
All right, everybody, you are here today with us. We are celebrating Small Business America. As we let everybody know on the first half of the show, this is our first really official show since Dr. Stan has passed away. Small Business America was his baby. We are on our third annual year now doing this particular show. We've got experts in the field of business sharing their knowledge with you and helping our small business owners move to their next level. So in our second half today, we have Mike Kitco. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thanks for having me. It's fun to be here, and your energy is amazing. This room is fantastic. It's like shining right now, if anybody can't tell.
Yes, no, we have so much fun, and Mike actually did a show with me on my Mind, Body, and Spirit show. So I get to play in both worlds myself. So that's like great for me. But Mike works with small businesses and medium. I mean, you're kind of doing all of it, really. And he has a brilliant mindset around business, an amazing history.
But the
So
thing is,
we're
like,
going to have him in
time
here
helped
like
that
we
because
did Rich
he
and
had to-
Sicardi.
he had to
Kind of a
work at
quickie
that for
today,
a
ladies
while.
and gentlemen, but we will
But
definitely have Mike
time
back
didn't
so we
heal.
can
It was
take
that
our
the
time
work
and really
itself
dive in
took time.
deep with him on
And
some
that's
things.
what-
But today
didn't
we're
fully
going to
heal him,
be
but it made it
talking with
possible
him
for him to
about
compensate.
the
That's why I
basics,
think that's
which is
I guess I
who
might
we are, who are we,
disagree a little bit.
what
I've had some
do we stand
pretty
for,
bad things
which
happen
is
in my
our
life
values,
occasionally,
and
I
where
guess
are we
thinking
headed,
about them
which is our
today
vision. So,
thinking
and you are
about
such a big
them
proponent of those
the
things
day it
for
happened,
business owners.
I
But
feel very
let me
differently
take this
about
opportunity
that.
to
And I think to
introduce you
myself,
and share
gosh,
about
isn't it
you.
lucky as human
Mike
beings
is the founder
that
and CEO
we
of Inner Wealth Global,
don't
a personal
hold
and
that
professional
initial
development
shock
company
or
which
anger
helps
or grief
business
that
owners
we may-
create
that
more
hits
wealth,
us right away
success, and
does not
happiness
stick with
in
us
their
in an
lives
identical
and
way, or at least
businesses.
it didn't in my
Through
case,
coaching,
10,
training,
20,
and
30
other
years later.
needle
And I think
moving content,
that's
Inner
the
Wealth
good thing, but
helps
then you tell
business
that
owners
story
keep
of
their
this
eyes
woman 30
on what
years
they
later.
really want,
But
a fulfilling life,
part of me
which
hears that
includes
story,
health,
I'm like,
wealth,
gosh, is it
powerful
true that she's
relationships,
really
and a
not
lifestyle
moved off
they're
of that
excited to
line
wake up
once
to
since
every
then?
day.
Maybe it is, and if
Again,
so,
Mike,
that's an
welcome to
absolutely
the
awful
show.
thing
Yeah, it's
for
great.
her.
I'm excited to
And
be
probably,
here,
I
and
don't know
and
how
the
you
basics.
bear
Let
something
me
like
let me
that,
talk
but
about
me, in some
why
ways,
the
that's
basics,
a
because the thing that I think
one of the
gets
blessings
most
about
away
being
from small
of how
business
we're
owners
constructed as
are the
beings
basics,
is that in
Mhm.
the
my
foundation, the
experience,
fundamentals. And when we don't do the
you
foundation
put
and the
distance away
fundamentals,
from things,
when we don't
be
do
them
those
small things
correctly,
or be them
when those
larger
start to
things,
get away from
it
us,
does
everything
seem
else
to
falls
ease
apart.
some of
Like
that
think about
Now
a
you've got
building
me
or a house
rethinking
that's
this.
built on
I
a
guess this is
foundation
probably
that's
really
that's
good
crumbling,
advice, for
that's
example,
not
for a
set.
teenager.
Nothing can stand, nothing can last,
Has, you know,
nothing
had a
can
very
build,
close
you know,
relationship with
powerfully
somebody and it's
if we
broken
don't
up
get the
and they're
basics
devastated.
right. So
And
the
you
number
do
one
need
thing
to
that
have
I
it. Time is
see
going to heal it
in
because
in
the course
small
of living,
businesses, and
they're
as
gonna
we
meet new
move from
people, they're
this
gonna have new experiences, they're gonna
employee
develop
to
different
employer
interests, and
based
you're
world
gonna
that we're
become a
living in,
different
right? There's a
Right.
lot
So
of
the pain
people
of that
making the
loss
move
is
from
not
corporate or
gonna be
from
fresh and
from
as
you know
deep 10
jobs
years or 20
to
years
owning a
as it is
business,
now. And
whether
so
it be just a micro
the advice I
business
give it
or
time
something bigger.
is pretty
But
good.
as we move,
Yeah, like I
it's really
remember,
important to
looking
understand
back, it seems like, again,
mission,
small
vision,
things.
values,
When I
right?
was
Just
in
the basics of your
what we
business.
call
You don't get
junior
these
high,
right,
we now call middle
nothing
school,
else
which
is really
never
going to click for
the
you.
easiest
Quick
time of
question
life
for
me.
you. I always
My
believed
parents
in
were
that
moving
as
from
well.
one town to another, and
Why in the
I
world
had
would
to
you
change
build a
schools, and I thought
brand
this
new
was a
room on the house when
pretty
you have
terrible
water poured
idea,
in the
and
basement?
Exactly right.
bit about it.
Exactly
That
right.
makes
And
sense
looking
to me.
back,
This
Yeah.
is
So,
his
everything seemed
favorite
to work
analogy.
out,
Yes.
but in that moment,
so from
it seemed like
so
about the worst thing
right
that
off the
happened.
bat,
I think
I'm in brand new business. I
time
got
made
200
that
grand,
better, but I also
500
think
grand. I
that
want to
was
start
also
this
probably a
business.
bit of
I'm
an
all
overreaction
excited.
to me, but
What's my foundation?
I'm not
What's
the
step
first
one, step two,
adolescent who
step
probably
three?
overreacted
That
to an
even-
event. So
No,
there's,
that I
guess
mean,
the seriousness
as
of
soon as you start,
also plays a role.
that's when it's
I-
most
and maybe I'm
prevalent.
unusual,
That's when
but
it's
I
most
look back
important to
at a
really
period of
understand
time
who
in
you
my
are
life,
and
just
what you
maybe when
stand
I was
for
younger or
and
living
where
in a
you're
different
going.
place.
And that's why mission,
I
vision,
think a lot
values.
of
Who
people,
are you?
like,
Your
look
mission.
back and
Where are you
remember the
going?
general
And
highlights of it,
like,
and maybe
who are you
don't
bringing with
remember
you and who are you
that you were
serving? So
miserable
these
for
things
this
are
reason or
super
that
important.
reason.
Now,
But
now let
in
me,
retrospect,
Anthony,
you're like,
let
oh, that
me,
period wasn't perfect, but
you,
everything
it was a
worked out.
rhetorical question. Why would
And
you do that? Let
when
me
you're
tell
in the
you
throes of
how it happened for
it
me. I was
doesn't
making the
always feel that
transition
way. And I
from
guess I've
from
always thought that
employee. I
the
was the
ability to look back
CEO
and
of,
not remember
some,
every
or not CEO, but
mistake
for
and every
executive leader in
horrible
Fortune 500
moment in life
companies. I
and not
managed a
living
$65 million
those
manufacturing plant,
probably a good
$350 million
thing, and maybe
business.
everybody can't
I
do
was
that.
making the move from that to
See,
being on
but
my own.
I would
And let
say
me
you're
tell you what I was
supporting
after when I
myself
first
now when you
started.
say that.
Money.
I think that's something you
Right.
have to
Like I just wanted to make some money.
It's
And
not
I was
just
like,
time
I'll
to
serve anybody,
passage of
anywhere.
time.
I'll help them. I
You have to
just
go out and
need
engage
money.
and create my life
And that
for
was the
yourself.
worst
That is
approach
what
to launching a business.
heals.
And there's 8 billion
give you an
people in this
example.
world.
I
There's a lot of people with a lot of problems. A lot of people with a lot of problems that'll pay other people to help solve those problems. You really need to figure out who you are, what the mission of your business is, where you're headed with your business, and who are you out to serve, and who are you bringing with you. And that's why it's important. So the rhetorical question you ask, because when we start businesses, it's really sometimes at the beginning, especially, it's about we just need sales. Well, selling to the wrong people is going to get you. It's going to get you a hard time. When I have clients in my masterminds, when I have clients in my training rooms, when I have clients in my speaking engagements, there's
And
nobody
time
that'll
did not
make your
heal
life
it.
more
Time was
difficult
making
than
it
than a
worse.
client that's
my
not
point.
right for you.
I had to
And this
get in
is
there
why
and
it's
dig and
critical
cause
to
myself pain, and
understand
that's what healed
what
it.
your
So
business
that's why I'm
stands
saying
for,
no
what
to rule
what
number
you're
3.
what you're after,
Rule
what
number
role you play in the world,
Don't
who you're
compare
out to
your life
serve,
to others
where you're
and don't
going,
judge
and who are you
You have no
really,
idea what
really
their
most
journey is about.
apt to move the needle in their
So your
life.
mission
This
statement. Why are you doing
those
this?
two
What's
chunks,
the
there's two
why?
sentences
That
behind
behind
it.
That's exactly right.
Okay. The
So,
first
so
one,
I
don't
mean,
compare your life to
the
others.
mission of Inner Wealth Global
not
is to make
sure
the world a
that's
more
great
loving
advice.
place. And I know that
And
sounds
this
broad,
again
but think about
maybe
it from
mirrors
from
what
a
others think of you as one of your business.
there's
nothing
a
at
mind,
all
body,
wrong with
spirit
saying,
perspective.
"God,
All right.
Mhm.
one day
So let's tie
I
it back
want
to that.
be a
That right
electrician.
away tells
and my
everyone
dad's an electrician.
in
and by
I'm an
gosh, he
employer
is-
as well.
I've learned
It
so
tells
much from
our-
him, and he
our
does.
Employees,
He's greatly
tells
respected in his
me,
field,
it
and you
tells
admire
our
him.
clients,
And
it tells
comparing yourself
prospects
to
that
him
we won't
and
settle
saying,
for
"How can
anything but
get to
absolute
that
love."
level and
Mhm.
aspirational.
We're
living
not gonna.
is
There's not going to be
helpful
drama
and useful.
and conflict.
And
We're not
I
going to
think
point
to
fingers.
say to
We're
not
not
do
going to
that is
blame.
not
We're not going to
good advice.
threaten. We're not going
This
to do
reminds me
that
of
stuff
this
because
rule
that's
and
not
the
what
other
we
ones
stand
too.
for.
It reminds
And
me
there's
of something
nothing
I
that will
heard.
get like
The
us
Harvard
on
philosopher Hillary
to go
Clinton
separate
said one
ways
time in a lecture,
faster
this was years
than doing
ago, she said,
anything but making the
anything that
world a
can
more
be
loving
put in a
place.
nutshell
So now
belongs there.
we take that, right?
And there's
Kind
a
of
way
like
in which if you try to
everything
make
that we
any
do,
bit of
whether it be
advice too
the
succinct,
free video course
it's
that I offer,
necessarily
whether it
false.
be
And
the workshops
what
that
I
I
would
put
say
on,
to
whether it be the
expand on this,
mastermind or
because
the
there is a
inner
kind
circle
of
or the
sense
private
in it,
clients,
is
it's
don't
all about
compare
making the
yourself
world a
to
more loving place.
superficial
And the way we
versions of
do
others.
that
Yeah,
is
there's a
by
well-known
helping
phenomenon
people live the
that
life
takes
of their
place
dreams
from
and
television
create wealth
shows
and
and like
success and happiness.
depictions of
Because
life
someone who has
on
internal
TV, which is
freedom
an idealized
and freedom in their
depiction of
life, there's no
families
way,
and
shape,
kind
or
of
form. There's
individuals
no way that
and their
they're
possessions
ever
and
going to
things
cause
like
harm
that.
in this world.
And one of the things that
When
happens
someone is
it really
really,
drives
really
kind of
aligned with who
consumerism.
they
You
are
see
and
people
what
with all these
they
different
were meant to
possessions.
achieve
Why don't I have
and the
those in my
purpose
house?
that
Everybody
they
else
serve
has
in their
them.
life, when
You
they're
never
really
get these
aligned with
people
the life
going
that
to work.
they were
Right,
always
yeah,
intended
yeah.
to create,
Just like
there's
what kind of
not a
televisions they have, what kind of
harmful
cars they drive, all
cell
that
in their
stuff.
body.
And then social
And that's how
media
we make the world a more loving
amplifies
place.
that
I'm
because
a business
people are always
owner,
presenting an image that they want to present.
and
not
finally,
their real
someone has
selves.
made me
They're
realize that
never
I need to
taking random
take a
pictures
step
of
back
their
and
living
really
room
take a look at
mess
the
and
organization
everything.
that
Then
I
you
found.
think, like people's idealized selves look pretty good.
Sometimes
compare
internally,
yourself to
business owners
that,
can't
because
make that
that's
determination.
false.
But they're too close
But
to it.
you should compare
So
yourself, as you
Interworld
point
Global
out,
could come in
with
and say, "Look,
kind of
let me take
aspirational
a peek behind this curtain and
ideas,
see
like
what we
the
found."
kind of person
Yeah,
you
and
would
it's
want
just
to
asking the
become.
right questions,
Compare
right?
yourself
Who are
to
you? And I
that.
think
So you give yourself
we talked
a
about this
direction.
in
And
the
I've
last
talked before on the
radio
show, I spent
appearance
most of my
that we
career
had.
in newspaper news
Because it
Um,
was specifically
and
about money.
that
It
was a
was
tremendous
specifically
place to
about
be
money.
around other
Let me.
journalists. and
I'm going to tell a
reporters,
story.
copy editors,
We
Okay.
love
where you'll learn
It's
so
easier to
much.
teach
And
from
I
stories.
still to this day
There's a
remember
client that I have,
conversations I had
and
with people
he's
I
got
admired a lot, asking questions,
tens of
seeing
millions
how
of
they
dollars
did
in cash
things,
flowing real estate.
maybe stealing
And he's
some
built
ideas and
education
doing those
businesses,
things
and he's built
myself.
just
I
5
think that
businesses that are
osmosis
amazing.
process
You
is
walk
very
in his
helpful.
building,
And to me, that's
and
in
he's
effect
got
comparing
a
myself
mission
to them.
statement on the
Like, hey,
board,
I really
and he's
think
got values.
this person or
and he's
that
got a
person is
descriptor
tremendous
of
at
each of these values.
his or her
And
job.
if you walk
I want
around and
to
talk
be
to
like
his
them.
people,
I don't think
they
there's
are
anything
all in
wrong with that,
alignment
assuming I'm
with
taking
the
good
mission.
advice people
They
take
understand the
advice
mission.
from.
He hires,
But
you
the second part
hire
of that
for
is-
values,
and this is
and
something
you train for
we've
performance.
seen
You
a
hire for
lot,
values.
I think online
A-
about you have
An
no idea where
employee
their
that
journey is
doesn't
about.
match your
And
values
you'll
will
often hear
crush
that
your
around
business.
this be
Mhm.
When
kind
you
to
talk, when
everybody.
you walk around
Which is
his
again, not
building,
necessarily a bad thing.
it's
But
him.
when you see somebody out there,
It's
who
his energy.
maybe at the grocery
The
store,
mission
acting
is him.
not
The
a little
values
bit
are
fucked
him.
for normal,
The
or
what they
driving a
do,
little
the
bit
work that they do, it's
aggressively, or
him. You
maybe
can feel
yelling at your
him. You
kid,
can hear
in a way
him. You can
they
see
write.
him. It's like
Many people
that
would say,
that
"Hey, don't
business
judge that
is a
person.
reflection, and
You have
all
no
of his
idea what
employees
their
are a
journey is
reflection of
about."
him. He's built that
I
business
think
from
that's
the inside out.
probably most
Who
of
am
good
I?
advice, although,
What
of
do
course, we
I
all
love
know
to
there are
do?
times
How do
where
I love to
their
serve
journey
the
makes
world?
no damn
What
difference
impact
if
do
they're
I want to make? Now
taking
let me
things
build
too
something
far.
from that.
That,
So
yeah,
it's
if
getting
you're yelling at
really
their
clear
kid,
about who
fine.
you
If
are,
hitting
like
their kid with a
who
baseball
do
bat,
you
I
want to
don't really care what
serve?
their journey's
What
about.
problem do you
And it
want to
tends to- the
solve?
more
And
we
how
know
do you want to
somebody, the
make
better we
people
know somebody,
feel
the
after you've
more
solved their problem
tolerant we
and
are.
build from that out?
Tend to be
Transferring
but-
that back to
we know
anybody that
more
comes
about
in your
the
business.
But Anthony, so many people, they say, what's the best way for me to make money? Stop. No. Who are you?
about
What do you stand for?
some kinds of behaviors.
Where do you
that
want to
we
go with your life?
don't particularly
How do you
like,
love to
but we
serve?
can
How
put
do you
up
love
with.
to impact? Because when
Tell
you
you what,
wake
this
up,
has
and
been
one of the things that I
for
love
me,
to
one of the
I love to
blessings
talk about is
of being
I love
a
the way
college
to help
teacher
people wake
for
up
so many
excited
years.
for the life that they get to live
teach
every day.
ethics. I tend
And
to
if you're going
teach
someplace that
a
you
lot
don't
of
want to
juniors
go,
and
you're
seniors
doing
and
something you don't want to do,
graduates.
and
So
you're not
we can-
excited about the people that you work with, I mean, are
There's
you
a
really
lot of
going to wake up
conversation.
excited every
Sometimes
day?
we talk
Right.
about some.
You know,
eventually, as
we
the class
talk
goes
a lot
on,
about that.
some
You
kind of
know,
really
as
topics
we
that
shared
might
on
be
the first
fairly
half, this
personal.
is
People share things about
my
their life
partner
story.
in life and
And I found
business
that
and
there
now
are so many
radio.
people
But
that
you know, I feel like
on the
both of us
surface,
feel
they
so
appear
blessed to be
living just a
doing
great
what we
life.
do.
Mhm.
Really have
And
things
like you
together.
said,
They
there are
seem
so many
pretty
people that
successful,
wake up
or
in the
at least they have
morning,
that potential
are
and
going to
everything else, and then you
jobs
find
or
out that
having
this under the
careers that
surface
are not
is a deep
filling
pool
them.
of
And I'd
they've
love
been
to
through some
backtrack
really
just a little
horrific
bit because you said
circumstances.
like when you were
And you would think,
transitioning
boy, I
from
wouldn't
this high
want to be
powered
in that person's
corporate
shoes for
job,
anything.
Yep.
making
And yet,
probably a ton of
for
money,
many of the people
you
that
know,
I've
and then
met,
you're like focused
gone
on, I
on
just
to
need to make
like
money.
live incredible
What
lives.
was
I
it
would say much of
and
their success
how was it
comes
that
from
you
the suffering. So
shifted
there was a
that?
young man
Because I
went on
think
to
that
become a
is what
middle
is
school
important
teacher.
for business owners,
Fantastic,
especially for
because
somebody
he just
that is
understood kids
looking
at that
at
age.
starting
Middle
their
school
own
teachers,
business
God
and
bless them,
leaving
because those
that
kids
corporate
at that age are impossible. I
you-
wouldn't last
technically
one afternoon teaching
secure
basically 25
Right.
check
kids that
coming
age.
in,
And
you
he
know,
was
every 2 weeks
amazing,
or
but part
whatever
of
it is. It's like,
I
how
found
do
this out
you
about him after he
transition
graduated.
from
He had
that
not shared
space
this with
in
me when he
order
was
to
in college.
not
He was
have a
homeless for
company
2
that's going
years
to fall
during
apart?
There's so many
college, not
questions in
sharing it
there
with
I can
anybody.
answer, or so many points that I
It was
can
a
I think
very
what
talk
she
about.
just said was what clicked.
Right.
I get it, but I'm saying she gave me like 15 other talking points that I want to address outside of the question, right? So,
This is why Mike will be back, because 30 minutes is not going to be enough.
so I didn't make the decision to transition. I was terminated twice in about 20 months because I was physically, mentally, emotionally abusive to myself and everybody. I was 300 pounds. I was suicidal. I was drinking at toxic levels. My home environment was just abomination, right? I mean, there was no joy in my life, and my health was everything. There wasn't anything that was clicking in my life. So it's like the first time I got fired, I thought, I'll give it another shot. And the second time, I'm like, okay, something's wrong. And the first thing I did, and I, yes,
in some
I
ways
was
that's
making a lot of money,
a lot of
and our
that's
net
what
worth
this whole
is
discussion
pretty
around
powerful. We're in good
police
shape.
reform is.
And I still had this money
that
fear.
instead
Oh my
of
God, I got to make
there's a
money,
person
because if
who appears to
it's
be
not coming
homeless
in,
or who's
then you don't
acting
have enough,
out or is
right?
doing
Something's
something
wrong.
that just doesn't
Even
quite
though
seem
you
right.
have this
Maybe
pile that's
Putting
plenty,
someone with a badge
if it's not coming
badge
in,
with a
then you
gun
feel like something's
is
wrong.
not
And the first thing
that
I
person
did
needs.
was
Maybe that
when
person
I
needs
realized I
someone to
wasn't
talk
going
to
back to corporate
and get
because
the
my
help
resume
they
was Swiss
need
cheese.
and
Tried,
find out
but
really what
failed.
that journey
The
for that
point
person
being is
about,
I launched a
because
business called
putting that
Hope
person
Works
in a jail
Partnerships. What I
cell
was
is
going
like
to do is
not
I was going to
wanting to
go out
solve
and
that.
I was going to help
And this
people
is a
looking
wider
for jobs
kind of
find
public
jobs.
health
Now,
issue too.
I was looking for a
Turns out
job and
our
I couldn't
county
find a
jails
job, but I was going to
will
help
often have
people
anywhere
looking for a
from
job
30
to
to
find a job.
60% of
And
the
all that was
population
a
with
scarcity move.
mental health
It's
issues.
what's the
And
fastest way I can make money?
Oftentimes some
And I-
serious
and
mental
it,
health
like,
issues.
All I
Like
tried to
police
do
officers
was
have to
figure out a way to
contact
make
for that.
money.
Why
And when
is
that didn't
Do
work,
they have the
and
training?
I
Some
launched
police
a
departments,
business,
they
I was
do,
gonna
and they're
like,
very good
I
and
don't know,
conscientious
be a
about providing
business
training to their
consultant
officers.
and help,
Other
executive
towns and
leaders, blah,
counties
blah,
and
blah.
stuff do not
When
provide
that didn't
training.
work, I was like, okay,
So that's-
what am I missing?
those
Here?
are good
What's the
questions to
fastest
ask.
way for me to make some money? What's the
Rule
fastest way?
number
Well, that was
5.
my question. What's the
Stop
fastest way
thinking
for me
too
to
much.
build a business?
It's all
And
right
it was,
to not know the answer.
who am I?
They will come to
What
you.
problem?
when
Who do
you
I want to
least
work with?
expect
What problem do I solve in the world?
Sometimes
Can I solve
I
at a
get the impression
genius
that
level?
as
Not
human
a
beings,
not
all
an
we do is
adequate
keep
level.
finding
What problem can I
new
solve
and
in
inventive
a
ways to
genius
stop
level?
thinking.
And
And then
how
we
do
try
I
to
really
rationalize
want
it.
to leave
I would say,
people after
no,
I'm done
think
working
more,
with them?
go
Like when I
deeper,
saw
go
when I
further
answered
in.
those 3
That's-
questions,
If
it
the
became
option
very
is one or
clear.
the
And in
other,
the first
stop
year in
thinking so
business, I
much
hit
and
double
think
6
more.
figures, and I exceeded
I think
like
we
any
fail
level
too
of
often in the
income that I
direction of
had
not
from an
thinking enough
executive
about
at at the
Or
executive
should it
level.
be not
Because when you
necessarily
get really
think
clear
more
about
but
who
think
you are, and
differently?
you just go out and you just present
depending on the
yourself
kind
to the
of
world and the
work
problem
we're
that
trying
you
to
love
do,
to solve,
sometimes just
and you
like
know you can
continue
knock
to
that
hit your
problem
head against
down,
the
you
wall
can
when
solve
you're
that
not coming
problem.
up with a
Look, this money
solution
games
to the
it gets really
problem. You have to say,
easy.
maybe I
You
should
just
try
get to
different
be.
approach.
You don't
And
have to
I
do
certainly
anything.
found that
You
with
just get to
writing.
be. Like,
A lot of times
hopefully
I'm writing,
you can
I will
hear
sit down
on
and
this
I'll sit down at my
radio
computer at a desk
discussion
and
and
so
this
forth
radio
in a familiar
discussion.
environment.
This
That
isn't
works lots
something
of
I
times, but
do.
there are times
This
where I
is
come
this
up
is
with
who I
a simple
am.
problem.
Like,
I
I have a
don't know how to resolve.
podcast, and
I
you
can't
just turn a
think of
mic
the
on
right
and I go.
words, or
Like,
I
this is
need an
what I love
illustration
to
or a story,
do. So this
something like
isn't,
that.
and so I
And
just
the
get
best
to
way
be
is to go
me.
take
And
a
this is
walk.
what
And I find
I
that
help
after about 15
people,
minutes of
especially
walking, I
business
usually
owners,
come up with a
I help
solution.
them
So
wake up and
if the
just be
advice
themselves all
is,
day.
yeah, think
And from
differently
being
by
themselves,
putting
they
yourself
solve
in
the right
different
problems. But so many
circumstances,
people are
I think
just trying to
that's
figure
great
out a way to make
advice.
money. And that's
But
the
there are
wrong way to
lots of
start a
problems
business.
where
What's the best way
the
to
answer
get
is
the
to
best
pay
of
closer
you into the
attention.
world? You'll make
Yes,
all the
oh, I
money
agree with
you
that.
need.
Mhm.
And
That's interesting.
You're
Now that
walking
I know what they mean by they
story,
say
I
money
think,
is the root
intentional,
of all
where you're
what?
yourself
It's
and you're
not,
saying,
though.
okay,
It's
I
not,
need
but
a break from this. I'm gonna
there's
go
a
on
there's a
walk
guy I
and
follow. His
clear my
name is
mind,
Jesse
come back
Elder,
and I'll
Jesse Elder.
That to me
Now,
is an intentional
he
strategy.
doesn't know me.
To
He,
say,
I'm sure he
the
knows
answer
I
will come to
follow
you
him,
when you
whatever,
least
on
expect it.
social media.
That's not
But
an
he had a
strategy.
great
To
quote
me,
the other day,
that
and it
is
sums up a
saying,
very big
I'm
concept.
just going to
It
let
says,
the whims of
money
chance take
is
over.
fantastic fuel,
How many times have you
Mhm.
heard people
but it's
say
a
to
horrible
someone
finish
who's
line.
bemoaning the fact
Like,
that he's
what
single
are
and
you
this person's
really
like, I'm
after?
single and
Are
I
you just
happen to
after
go on a
money,
date here
or are you
there,
after
or I look
living
and
an
I just
awesome
can't
life?
find the right
Exactly.
And
person.
when
And
you're
then
after
the
living an
aphorism always
awesome
thrown
life,
out is,
you don't do
oh, the
stuff
person you're
that you
looking
don't
for will
want to
show
do,
up
or
when you
go
least
places
expect
you
it.
don't want
And
to
I just
go,
think
or
that's a bunch of
be with people you don't want to be
nonsense.
with.
Yeah, maybe
You
should
want every
approach
aspect
things
of your
differently.
life to
Maybe
be
you should
awesome.
put
And then when
yourself
you
out in
create the
different
money
groups
and
of
wealth
people.
and
Maybe
success
you
and
should
whatever,
do lots
it's
of
just
things,
fuel
but to
for an
just
awesome
say
life.
Sounds like
ignore it and suddenly the problem will resolve itself is nonsense.
whatever your
But for so
passion
much
is.
of life,
Absolutely.
preparation
And
is
once you
everything.
have the passion,
You
then the
can't
money will
guarantee
come.
results.
But follow your
Thinking
passion.
Always.
People
You can't
pay
Always.
for
from any
passion.
kind of perplexing
People don't
problems
come to
try to
see
resolve in
me
our life.
like speak,
We
and I
can't
do some
guarantee that we're
speaking
gonna
and
figure out the
I put
solution.
on workshops. They
But
don't come
you
for the
certainly have to
teaching.
put the
They
effort
come
into
to
the
see me
preparation.
perform.
You do
Right.
the
And
work.
because that's what
and
it
then
is. It's a
luck
performance, and it's
comes
not.
about,
I don't
but
do
you
anything
can't count on
different.
luck
Right.
itself.
But
And
it's
we've
a
talked about this
performance,
before, but I
and
think
they
it
also
also
get
comes back
value
to
from
the
the
fact
words
that there
coming
are
out of my
some
mouth.
people
Like
out
people
there
can
who
see and feel and
sincerely
connect with
believe
passion, and
that
they will
everything in
pay
their
for
lives is
passion.
predestined,
hmm
and that
And you
whether
can
they're
tell
going to
if
live
the
to be
person has
90 or
passion
live
or
to be
not.
100%
30,
chance.
See it right through them.
have
It's a
10 kids
fire.
or have
It's
no
a
kids,
fire
be
that comes
happily
from
married or
inside
be
out,
single
and then
forever.
we share it with the
All
world.
of that's
But you
beyond their
can see
control.
when
It's all
someone's
predetermined.
doing what they were
And
always intended
that's
to
not
do. And
all,
so
I
many
think,
people are
but
settling
for
for
those
way
folks,
less than what
just
this
kicking
life
back and
offers.
waiting for things to happen
Which is
maybe feels
because of
right.
that money piece. It's
Absolutely.
like we,
I heard
so
this
many
story
people
years
are
ago
so
from the
driven
historian of science,
by the
and
money
I
piece
think I remember
that
it
they're
correctly,
missing
and I looked
everything
it up
else.
since, and I haven't been able to
And
find
it's
any
like you
confirmation
have
that
to
this is actually
truly
true, but it's still a
love
nice
what you're
illustration.
doing
So James
to
Watson and
really
Francis
have
Crick
that
researching
fulfilling life,
DNA
which
and
is what
trying to
most of us are looking
provide an
for. It's like
explanation
we
for how it worked
focus
and
on the
come
money,
up with
but
a
it's
model
really
for
the
it. And they spent
fulfillment of
18
our life
months
that we
working
want.
The
really
money's
hard
not going to
to
make you
kind of
feel
models
anything.
and
Like
kind of explanations
we
for
want to
DNA
feel
sequencing,
wealthy, and we're
which
after money
became
to
the
feel
foundation of
wealthy,
molecular
but there's
biology.
nothing outside of you
And
that
the
can give
story
you a
that I
feeling
remember
inside.
hearing
Right?
is
Think
after
about that.
struggling with
I mean,
this for a
when you
long
step
time,
back, and
having
I
a
like
lot of
the,
information about it.
I'm right now,
James
I'm pinching my
Watson is on a
arm.
bike ride
There's
through
there's
this
inside
countryside,
feelings
gets
and
the
there's
vision of the
external
double
money.
helix.
Mhm.
And money
And what struck him
can't
was how
get
beautiful
in
it
your
was.
skin to
And
give you
there are
feelings.
these
Those
kind
those
of moments of
feelings, those emotions
inspiration.
are choices.
But
Yes.
So
the
we can
moments of
have money,
inspiration I find
but we
among
don't
the
have,
most
it doesn't
creative
mean we have to
people
feel
come
or that
after
we get to feel
periods of
wealthy.
intense hard
Feeling
work.
wealthy is a choice.
And so
And
the
I was on
answer
a
is never
call
stop
with my
thinking
students
so
the other day,
much.
and I was
It's
asking
think harder, but don't
I
become
just asked a
convinced that
rhetorical question.
just the
Actually, it
hard
wasn't
work
rhetorical.
alone will
But
produce the
I got a
result
great
you're looking
response. I said, "Do you guys
Can
know
still
anybody
come
who's
about as a flash of
ultra
insight.
We're
wealthy
almost to
that
the end,
has
Rick.
everything that they could
7
ever
rules, and
imagine,
here is
everything
number
that they
6.
need, and feels broke?" And there's
No
one
one is
gal
in
that
charge
went,
of your happiness.
me. And she
except
didn't say the word, but she pointed to herself.
This is empirically
And
false. And
I
so the
think
other
at that
ones, we
point,
say,
that was a
do they
little
seem
click
true or
moment.
do they seem
Wow,
false? We
I've
don't
got
know.
all
There's
the
been
money
so
I
many
could
studies of
ever need in my
happiness.
life,
And
but I still
from
feel
some of the
broke. The
studies that have been
money
done on
isn't going to give you
identical
feelings.
twins,
So we chase the
not
money for an
everybody
internal
agrees on
feeling
this,
that the
but we
money
don't
is
agree
not
on,
going to
like,
give
the
us. That's
precise
why,
formulation.
there's a,
But
I
there
think
is
Eckhart
a
Tolle said,
pretty good
if you're not
consensus that say roughly
satisfied
half
with one,
of our
when you have
happiness
two,
set
you'll just
point
need 3.
is due
Mhm.
The
to
mind
genetics.
wants to want more than it
That's
wants
really maybe not
have.
up to
Those
you.
are
Yeah,
both
just what you're
Eckhart
born
Tolle.
with. So, and then about
Eckhart Tolleisms.
10% of
It,
your
the
happiness
mind is
probably
never going to
the
allow you to get
source.
there. The mind is it's always going to be a
up to you.
chase. The
That is
question
like
is,
your
are you enjoying the
behaviors, thoughts,
journey?
attitudes,
And is the
things that you have
destination
some
for
control over.
adventure and
so-
excitement,
But it's
or
interesting.
for
I'm
life
just
or
gonna stop
death?
you there,
and
and I'm not going to
right? So
those numbers.
so many
I
people
assume it's
are
accurate, but
they
I'm
have the
surprised. I
life
think
of
a
their
lot
dreams,
people
but they're
would be
still in
surprised even
survival
that
mode, so they don't
10%
enjoy any of it.
is your
Right?
sacrifice.
It's shifting
This is
from
what's
survival
interesting. So
mode to
this is what-
creation mode.
this
There's
is
a
the
lot of
point of
people.
reading
There's some
that
people
is
that are
what all the
broke that are
happiness
living in creation mode.
Researchers
Some
do
people
say.
that are
They
wealthy
say
that are
we
living in
tend to
survival
really
mode.
focus
That's
on
a choice. That's an
circumstances, the
internal
things that happen
condition.
to us,
Mhm.
and that's like
Absolutely.
I feel the
contributes the
passion.
least to our
And
happiness.
and I
That's,
see
that
it.
surprises.
And that's
Um,
because you have a set
I
point.
just want to make
And
sure that
when
these
things
businesses
happen
out
to
here
you,
sort of feel what you're
except for a
talking
few
about,
things,
and how can they
most things
how
that
can they
happen to
get
you,
with you
even the
to
things that
have a
they
better
think are just
understanding of
really
what they're
great and
trying
are
to
gonna change
achieve?
your life,
How can
they
they
have
get
an
with you
impact
on
in your
this?
Yeah,
happiness
I
for
mean,
days
my
or
my
weeks,
website is
sometimes even for a month, but not for
innerwealthglobal.com.
very long. Like somebody wins the lottery, they're elated for a few days,
innerwealthglobal.com.
And then
I
maybe a
mean,
little
I've got
bit happier for
anything
a week
from
or so,
free
and then they're back
resources,
to
a
work.
free mini course
And then
on my
they're looking
website
to
that
win
you
the
can
lottery
connect
again.
with.
And
Go on
then
there, and there's
oftentimes they
there's
up
3
it at the
videos, there's a
year for
workbook,
them.
there's a
So
and there's
they're-
also a
they're
discount code to
But
get to my
this
next
is even
workshop,
true of
right?
people who lose
And
a limb.
my
That's
work,
the one I just
that's
signed
the
up
one
for.
you
At that
just
point,
joined.
I just
That's
signed up
awesome.
for
It's
it.
September
Normal
1st, 2nd.
for a lot of
And it's
different
awesome. It's 2
circumstances.
days of
Now,
live
here's some
of
interesting
this,
things.
right?
There are
And
few
we cracked the code on how to get
that
like
raise or
internally
lower
clear
your
with where you're going
set
and
point.
who
And
you
so these are-
what life
In a
you're
way,
designed
there's some
for.
things we can
You've got
do
the
to
you've got
change
the owner.
things that
What
happen
about
to
the
us
sales
to make
team,
us
and
a
what
little
about
better.
the
One
other
is
guys? Do
commuting.
you have
If you have a
specific
long commute,
areas that you
chances are
train
your
in
happiness
those
is
teams
gonna
as
go
well?
down
Yeah, a
and
lot of
stay down for
leaders.
as
I
long
do
as
a
you
lot
can.
of leadership training.
So
So
moving to a
so
new
I
house,
I
even
mean,
if it's your dream house
think
rather out in the country,
you got to be
with
true to
nature,
yourself.
like
And I
getting
love
an
I
extra
love
half hour to work
teaching
back,
leadership,
you're probably
and I
gonna
love
be less
teaching,
happy
especially leading
in your
yourself,
dream
because that's
house
all we're talking
closer
about
to
here.
your
We're talking about leading yourself. And
Absolutely.
if you
Not
can't
getting
lead
enough
yourself,
sleep,
you can't
for
lead
some
anyone. So
reason, like,
working with
can't get enough
leadership
sleep,
teams to
you're-
help
you're
them
not gonna be as
understand
happy.
how to be the most
You have a
powerful
really
leader
difficult
that they can
boss,
possibly
that
be.
just
is
or a
like,
colleague or a coworker,
I mean,
those
that's
sorts
my
of
jam.
having to deal with
But,
difficult people day in and day out.
The biggest problem
sometimes
that I've
things
seen in
get work
business, I'm just going to go
relationships.
back to it's
These
the
can
business
make
owner.
somebody miserable.
Mhm.
And
It's
then
not the
losing a
team;
close friend or
it's the
family
business
member.
owner. And
Now, the
and
things that you can
if
do is
I think
you can
sometimes there's this
spend more time
matrix.
in that, boost
Let
your
me
happiness,
I'm going to try to
and
paint a
get
picture.
exercise.
If I had a
Does
whiteboard
it?
and you could see this
can improve
whiteboard,
your
but
social
think about
relationships.
this: there's
That will be tremendous.
values and there's
And you can
performance.
engage in like
And
creative or
one of the
meaningful work.
first things I
Like,
do
this could be your
is
job, it could
after
be a
I
hobby,
get clear with the business
could be a
owner, right?
volunteer.
What is your
There are
mission?
ways in
Where are you
which your
headed?
happiness
And what
is
are
up
your
to you.
values?
Definitely
What do
things
you
can do.
stand
But
for?
most of the
So
things
the
that
values of my
people tend to
business
think of
are
as making them happy or
love,
unhappy
integrity,
is just false.
trust,
Or beyond
expansion,
their
and service. That's
Yeah.
what my
The only
business
thing that
stands for.
made me-
Those are the
I
people
I
that those are
generally
my
agree with what you're
employees,
saying.
those are
The
my
only thing
clients,
that I
those are my
remember
prospects.
hearing, and I
Love,
generally
integrity,
agree
trust,
with,
expansion, and
is
service. So
that
that's what we
again,
stand
this
for.
whole show, I get another
After we
effort,
get
but I
clear
suppose
about
that's
that,
what
I
this
do
whole
this
show is
matrix,
is
right?
that
And
we can't
it's a
control
4-block,
how what
basic
we can't
4-block.
control what
And
happens to us,
one
but we
one
can
of the
control how we
axes
react
is
to it.
values and one's performance.
And I think
And when you really
that's
plot everybody in
probably
your business,
true.
you've got people
And
that
I
are
think
performing
in my mind,
highly,
at least,
that have
does
the right
reflect how
values.
happy
You've got
we
people that
are
are performing
on a medium and
poorly
long term
with the right values.
based on
You've got people that
what
are
has happened to
performing
us, be it both good or
poorly
bad.
and they don't
And-
have the right
yeah, in a
values,
way,
and you
this
got
is
people
one of the
performing
things I wrote
highly
about
with
this
without
week,
the right
Sure.
values.
Yeah.
And it's what do you do
We
with
have
these people?
cognitive
And the people that are performing highly with the
We
right
have the
values, you
ability to
promote them.
think
You like you give them
differently
anything. Don't let
about
something as silly as money get in the way of
circumstances
keeping those
that we're
people.
in.
Right.
When you've got
We
people that
think
aren't
differently
performing
about it.
and they don't share the values, you get,
changes our
they've
emotional
got to go.
response. So we do
ASAP.
have that kind of power.
When
and
you've got
that's
people that
actually
that
quite profound.
have your values
that-
but aren't
that would fall
performing,
into
you
that
train the
40%
living
or so.
crap out of them.
That is due to
But
the
when
way
you
we think
have
about
people
things.
that are
So that's really
performing,
significant.
but they're
And yeah,
not in
that is
alignment
up
with
to
your
you. So
values,
it's close to half of our happiness is up
it's
to
just a
us.
matter of time.
That's
Mhm.
important.
It's just a matter of
And
time, and you
in some
you
ways,
kind
that's
of
a
work
great,
with them, and you set
segue
some
into the
expectations. Hey,
final
we've got
rule,
90
number
days.
7.
Here's what I've seen in your values.
Smile.
Here's what we stand for.
You don't own
Here's
all
what
the
I've seen in your
problems.
performance or in your
I
behavior
guess
that's
what
out of
jumped out at
alignment
me
with
on this,
what
and I
who
think this
we
is
are as a
philosophically
business.
how
And I'm
different
going to need
people
you to consider if you
lives,
want to make
but
those changes. And typically
when
people
I
wash
think
out because you can't fix people.
100 years
They've got
from
to
now,
fix themselves. And
unless
values are something, like I said,
happens
you hire for
remarkably different
values
in our,
and you,
our health
you,
and science
you train
world. I
for
won't be around.
performance. You
Mhm.
don't
And neither
hire for performance. You
And
hire for values.
100 years
you
from
train for
now
performance.
is
But
quite
when,
possible. There will
when
be
you
very
go
few
through
people
that exercise,
who
you
will
can see in
remember
your
me,
organization who's with you
maybe
and who's
they're-
not. And it becomes very clear.
and
And Anthony, this is why I'm saying typically it's the business owner's lack of clarity or lack of understanding why they're actually running the business that gets in the way. Yeah.
Mhm.
Vision,
That's
values.
a wonderful thought. It gave
small way or
it
another.
enlightened me on something
that I
it's
don't,
really
that
interesting.
nobody
you
would
bring
connect
that up.
those dots.
I mean, I
back to
run
me.
3 golf
And to
teams
me,
for underserved kids.
thinking
and I
all
have
of
these
that
coaches,
and knowing all of
some
that
them are
is
extremely
actually a
passionate. The other ones
because
are just there.
unlike
Right.
They just don't have
President of
the
the United
fire to
States,
do it.
who
Yeah.
we all
And I was
know
telling her
will
about
remember
that, and I
100
was
years
like,
from now
well, you
because
know,
that person has
if
immense
they're
power
not
and
as passionate as
responsibility.
me, I might have
I'm
to
not
just
one of those people.
find some other coaches.
And I
Yeah.
feel
So let me share this with you. I just had a
We got
thought.
about one more minute left.
I just had this thought the other day, and I'm going to go really fast.
Like they really don't have
There's
any control over.
The difference
And actually,
in
they're
me,
complaining about
the
those
difference
things
in
all the
me
time.
between a
Makes
$200
things
a
even
month
worse.
client,
So
a
you say, why don't you
$2,000 a month
focus on
client,
what
a
you actually
$5,000 a
could
month
do?
client.
Why
The
don't you do
difference
it
in
with
me
a
is
better
0.
attitude? Because
I'll
then
show up
maybe you
no
can
matter
actually
how
make a
much
positive
money they're paying
contribution,
me.
but
The
constant
difference between a
complaining makes you a
$200
pain to be
client, a
around.
$2,000
So
client,
in
and a
that sense, I
$5,000
say,
client
yeah,
is
that's
how
good
well they
advice.
execute.
That-
because the people that are at the $5,000 level, 100% chance they're going to execute. The $200 level, they might not execute, right? It's really just,
But some people would find that terribly depressing.
sometimes
You
just
have
to
to
check
look
their
at it.
box.
I'm not sure if I
The
like
question
that approach.
I
In a
have
way,
is
it's-
when I'm with a prospect,
so many
are
respects,
you going
we
to
have no
execute?
idea
Because if you're not going to
kind of
execute,
effect
there's no sense.
that
And
we're
that's a
having,
value,
that
right?
kind of
That's
ripple
the
effect
expansion
that
part.
allows
Love, integrity, trust,
And we know that
expansion,
if we try to be a
and
positive
service, right? If we're not looking to expand,
around
we're
us,
not a good fit.
that there's a
I am so
chance
sad
that
to
those
cut us
ripple
off
effects
because
will be quite
Mike
positive.
is such an amazing human, and I love
And
watching
so
him
why not
on
do that?
line. Share
I
very
think
quickly
they're
how everybody
probably
finds you one more time.
not going to have that
Innerwealthglobal.com is my website, but you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and
So
and
smiling is
LinkedIn, and
actually
we
a
do a
good
lot of
advice
social
in
media
this
stuff. But
respect. It puts
follow
you in a
me
better
if you get some
mood.
inspiration. Let's rock.
Smiling, even
I
if
just
it
want to
isn't
thank
sincere,
everybody
just
today
practice
for
smiling
part
makes
one of
things feel
Small
good
Business
hormones.
America.
Sure.
We will be back with you again next week for part two. We'll be talking about nonprofit.
It has an
And,
effect on others, like it's contagious. So we
Shoot, I have
smile
Diane
at
Carson, and I
others.
just lost
They tend to smile back at you.
track
Which is
of.
something we're
She
rediscovering.
does promotional
Oh,
He's
she
a
does.
pro-
She does.
Better be-
PR. PR.
Promo experts.
I'm like,
Because then you
there we
get
go.
more of those
Yes,
happy
yes. So
smiles.
we'll see you all next week. Thanks so much.
So, yeah, I think in some ways this is good advice. You might as well do that.
So you give people grades regularly.
Mhm.
How would you grade the unknown author of these 7 rules of life?
It would be a C.
Okay.
Right. Now, with grade inflation, maybe a B. But if C means it's average work, yeah, it's like some of it's good, some of it's bad, but
But why do you? But clearly, this has resonated with people. Why? Is there something here that is there sort of an overarching theme you can say? I see why this is being shared constantly on Facebook or being hung on people's walls, or people turn to this in times of great